Before this video begins, I'm going to take a moment to show solidarity with my brothers and sisters in the struggle against police brutality and systematic oppression. A better day is coming. Stay strong. What's good, y'all? It's your man Sight, and today we're going to be unboxing this beautiful piece of greatness, the MPC Live 2. Let's get to it. Let's get busy. All right, guys, welcome back. We are in my photo and video lab, and we're gonna be doing this unboxing. A little bit of a different setup here, but I hope you guys like it. Once again, my name is Sight, and I make videos about creating dope music using the MPC, as well as other tools for producers and content creators. So if you dig this content, make sure you hit that like button down below, drop me a comment, and if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. All right, y'all, let's get to this unboxing. I actually got this from Guitar Center. I originally ordered from zounds.com, and that order got pushed back to July. So definitely wasn't trying to wait that long. And so I went ahead and canceled that order with Zounds, which kind of sucked because they have a really good payment plan. But, you know, for the sake of the channel, I needed to get this thing in hand and get some work done. So Guitar Center it is. They gave me a good deal on it too, so shout out to them. Went ahead and got a 3-year warranty on it because I do plan on taking it around a lot. So this should be dope. I do have a little bit of damage here on the box. Probably see here. But yeah, that's our packaging. Let's go ahead and break the seal here. All right. Nice presentation. Go ahead and flip that around. So instead of the poster that normally comes with MPCs, they give you kind of like a poster you can put on your wall. This one's got it right here on the box. Let me slide that up so you can see it. It's got, you know, your basic information here. A couple screenshots. That's dope. So yeah, it's a little bit different. Let's go ahead and start taking out some of this. As my man Flossie Carter says, regular books and shit. We've actually got, in this package, we've got a, looks like a microfiber cleaning cloth with it. So that should be pretty convenient. Make sure I pack that away with it when I'm taking it out. You've got your download instructions. Your safety instructions. And your quick start guide, which is, I guess you could say it's kind of like a manual, just a small one. But yeah, it's got a quick start guide. People were saying it doesn't come with any type of manual. I think they said the Live 2 doesn't come with a manual, or maybe it was the 1, but yeah, it does have a couple things. Guess it's got a Mac ID here that they send you, so I'll just keep that hidden. And this is actually some screws. Let's see if I can get that to focus. This looks like mounting screws for the SD card. I mean the SSD drive or hard drive. So that's cool, it comes with those. Gonna throw this back in the bag for now. All right, in the moment I've been waiting for. Let's go ahead and take the main unit out of here. That's crazy, when I took this out, power cable came flying out. Looks like a Mickey Mouse style power cable. All right, in the bottom of the box here, Gonna set the unit down. It's a cool design. Got the 4 pads. I mean the 16 pads. We've got a blue USB cable, which is hideous. I don't know why anybody would want to hook up a blue USB cable, but it is USB 3. This is the one you use to go into controller mode. See if I can get focused there. So, yeah, this is the one that's gonna go to the unit to put you in controller mode. Set that over there. And on the other side here, I've heard about people not knowing that the power brick is actually inserted into the other side of the styrofoam. So there's the power brick. Let's go ahead and put this back in here. Go ahead and take this power brick out while we're at it. All right, so it looks like your standard power brick. The cable looks like probably around 6 feet. Let's see when we take it out. It's maybe about 5 feet on this cable. And then this power cable should give us about another foot. Yeah, this one, about 3 feet. So I guess you got a good, between the two, probably a good 8 feet. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and plug that in. All right. Now let's go ahead and get the unit unwrapped here. All right, cool. So it looks like full size headphone port, which I'm excited about. I'm really not excited about this input volume being down here, you know, because you're gonna have to reach around the unit, pause. You know, when you're messing with it, you have to reach around. And if you have cables here plugged in, you know, in your 5 and 6, it's gonna be a real pain in the ass trying to turn this with cables. But you know, and I have kind of like medium-sized hands, so you know, if you have fat fingers, it might be a little more challenging for you. But you know, it is what it is. I don't think it was the greatest decision. I think they should have moved it up here and moved the lock down. But what do I know? I'm not a hardware engineer, right? All right, got our MIDI ports. Yeah, everything looks good. I don't have an SD card right now, but I'm gonna be running it on an SD card. I have like a 64 gig I'll be running temporarily until I get an SSD. But yeah, everything looks good. Speaker on, let's go ahead and flip that on now. Damn. Yo, can't even lie. It's pretty sick looking. Material wise, feels like the Touch. You know, it's got that kind of rubberized texture. This little lip on the side is different. You got your vents for, you know, heat dissipation and stuff. Looks good though. Looks real good. Volume knob is really solid. It's not flimsy. It's actually probably the most solid knob. Oh, these feel good too. I'm just comparing these to the Touch, and the Q-links do feel a little better on this. They don't feel as plastic, but it's not bad. Jog wheel is the same. I'll probably end up replacing the jog wheel because I never really liked the real thin jog wheel that was on the Touch. It's just like a thinner plastic. It's not really consistent with all these buttons. I mean, all these knobs. It might be the same material, but I guess because it's fatter, it just feels lighter and more flimsy. As you see, it's got a little bit of wiggle to it. These don't wiggle at all. Solid. Pads feel good. Buttons look good. Yeah, looks pretty cool. Now looking at the speakers, you're probably not gonna be able to see this, but oh yeah, you can see it just a little bit. It looks like there's two drivers here, and then there's two more kind of angled. I'm guessing those are drivers right there. But yeah, it looks like the speakers are kind of like a 45-degree angle tilted up towards you, a little less than a 45-degree. Let's see if you can see those. Yeah, it's not gonna be easy to see. But yeah, I think it's a really cool design. Buttons feel about the same. Feels good. All right, so let's go ahead and get her fired up. The power button is on the opposite side of the touch. Touch power button is over here on the right. This one's on the left. A little bit of load up time. And we've got a splash screen here. Chill, trap, old school, hip hop. Let's go with hip hop. Table's a little uneven here. Okay, a little hip hop kit. Got some good bass. All right, so off initial impressions, I would say sound wise, it's got really solid bass on the speakers, especially for the size. You can hear like the low notes, you can hear the deeper bass tones. I don't think it has the crispiest highs per se. They sound good, they sound clean. And it is pretty flat, to be honest with you. It is a pretty flat sounding frequency response all across the board. It does seem a little bass heavy, but yeah, it definitely handles bass well. I'll give it that. Let's hit 16 levels and see what this sounds like. Okay. It really handles the low frequencies well. So yeah, that's pretty impressive. I can't even front. I mean, the bass response is really good, and it seems to be handling the bass pretty well. So I'm impressed, at least on that side. All right, y'all, so that is the unboxing. First impressions. After I unboxed it, I did get a chance to mess around with it for a couple hours. All right, we'll start with the speaker. The speaker, first of all, it's two speakers, maybe even four. It's pretty cool because it has a really good bass response. You're able to hear your bass lines, 808s, things like that very clearly. You get the feeling that it's kind of limited in a way, not in a bad way, but in a way that it doesn't seem to get so loud that you worry about it blowing. So if that makes any sense, you know, you don't have to worry about the speaker blowing. It doesn't seem like, it seems like it's kind of, padded on the top where the amplifier won't exactly let it blow the speaker. So I think as far as longevity, fingers crossed. Now, as far as the highs on the speaker, they are kind of detailed, but I wouldn't exactly call them crisp. It's kind of smooth on the top end. You can hear all your highs, but it isn't very crispy. It could be the monitors that I'm used to in my main studio. I have some older event monitors, and the highs tend to be really sharp on that. So maybe my ear is adjusted to those, but it doesn't sound muffled or anything like that. Sounds good. Everything is pretty balanced, but the low end is definitely accentuated. It doesn't sound boomy, but you can definitely tell that they paid attention to the low end. It actually has a pretty decent stereo field for such a small speaker. I was really surprised. I was listening to a sample that I put an effect on and it started panning, and I actually really noticed the panning. The stereo field from up close is actually pretty good. That was really surprising. But overall, I think it's a really good sound. You're not gonna rock any parties with it. It's just something you can use for a collaboration tool. Initially, I thought it might be good for a reference mix, but I haven't really heard a whole lot of speakers that sound like this, so I don't know how good of a reference it would be. But it does get the job done for composing. So if you're just trying to put something together, you need to be able to hear the basic tones. It's gonna take care of that. Has pretty clear, balanced sound, but it should work well if you have an artist you just wanna pull up on, get some ideas off the top of your head, and have them be able to hear it at the same time. So I think of it more of as a collaboration tool, not so much a monitor. All right, on to the build quality. Now this part is pretty interesting because I'm coming from the Touch, and the MPC Touch, it's almost the exact same feel. A couple things I did notice, the Q links actually seem to be a little more solid than my MPC Touch, which is a good upgrade. The jog dial is still a little wiggly, just like the Touch is. Probably end up replacing that. The Q links definitely feel a lot more solid than the jog dial. The jog dial is a little wiggly, and maybe because it's bigger, it doesn't seem as solid. However, the speaker grill seems really well built. That's something I don't think I'm gonna worry about at all. It kind of has like a powder coating on it, I guess you could say. Real smooth. I mean, I guess, you know, with any of these speaker grills, you can kind of end up grinding it up on the edge if you wear a watch or something like that. I've been wearing my wedding ring when I make beats on my Touch, and it has the same coating on it, so I haven't had any problems with that. But with it being a matte black, anything hard that you wear on your hands is gonna show up on it, so you probably wanna take the jewelry off while you're making beats. Now, one downside I could say compared to the Touch, being that this does have a taller side dimension, as you can see here, it has this great, and I know this is on the live one as well, and I'm just not a fan of it. Compared to the Touch actually has the same matte rubberized texture wrapping around the sides, and I just really like the way that felt on the sides. I know this thing has to vent, so I totally understand. Personally, I wish they would have used a little bit of a better material on that, but I guess they're trying to keep the weight manageable, so I can understand. Everything feels solidly built except for this side. I have a little bit of I was kind of squeezing it, and you can probably hear that. Yeah, it's just one side is a little bit off. I don't know if something happened in the assembly. It doesn't necessarily feel broken, it's just not as tight as the other side. So as far as build quality, I guess I might have got a unit that probably wasn't the best put together. But other than that, it seems really solid. I'm happy with it. I'm not gonna send it back or anything over that. Hopefully it's not a sign of a bigger problem, but overall, really solid build, good weight to it. You don't have to worry about knocking it off a table. It's got rubber pads on the bottom, which are pretty sizable, so they should be able to catch a good grip on most surfaces. Shouldn't go anywhere. I mean, this thing weighs as much as a brick, literally. All right, so let's talk about the stock sounds. Just gonna let you know right now, basura. Trash, bruh, trash. Don't even play yourself. I would highly not recommend using any of the stock sounds that come inside the unit. They're pretty cheesy. The hip hop kits are just meh. Not a big fan of the MVP loop stuff and the Cap Sun stuff. Not really my cup of tea. For hip hop stuff, it's just not really modern, not really in touch. But the good thing is, if you go into your Akai Pro account, once you register your unit, download the free F9 expansion, fire. It's gonna give you some good bass lines. It's gonna give you some good starter instruments when you're in standalone. Also, this came with a new bundle called the Sonic Boom expansion. I went through the Sonic Boom. It has some very usable kits. However, what I realize is it's just basically 2 or 3 demos from most of Akai's expansion line. So it's got some Arab music stuff, it's got some decap stuff, kind of like hors d'oeuvres of sounds, if you know what I mean. You just kind of sample a little bit here, a little bit there, but it's got really usable kits. I'm definitely gonna snatch some of those kicks and drums off there, and it definitely made me want to go get that Arab Trap Soul expansion, the second one he did. Yo, the 2 that are on here, crazy. 2 thumbs up, man. Fire. So what are my final thoughts? Well, if it's your first MPC, it's gonna be a really solid buy. But for me, coming from a Touch, this is actually gonna be a downgrade in some ways because I'm used to using the computer and having VSTs. But the reason I went this direction is because I wanna have a second unit that I can take with me anywhere. This is gonna be my travel unit. I'm gonna keep it here in my visual studio. So I kinda have a change of pace. This is for people who are kinda getting tired of staying in the same studio or have just been kinda cooped up in their lab too long. This is a good, refreshing way to just kinda make beats and get your ideas out of your head on the go. I'm sure the first live did the same thing. This just basically capitalized on it by adding the speaker if you want to collab. But having a portable MPC that's powerful enough to get your track started, and for some genres actually finish your tracks, for instance boom bap, I think you can get an entire boom bap workflow in here that's really dope. You don't need anything else. It'll get good mixes. Obviously the air effects are pretty decent, but more than likely if you're more advanced with your MPC, you're definitely going to want to get the sounds out of this into a DAW where you can mix and kind of add some more character to the sound, use your VSTs, things like that. As I said, for me, I'm actually using it for this space. I'll be doing more videos in here. I guess you can kind of call it a set, but I'm looking forward to the change of pace, not just being in the studio all the time. As much as I love my lab and as comfortable as it is, and better air conditioned, it's just nice to be able to move around and get my ideas out wherever I am. This is a real cool way when you're on the road to kind of just get some you time, relax, do what you love to do at home, take part in one of your favorite activities while you're on the go, and I'm really looking forward to that as well. I live about 3 hours from Atlanta, but our family's out there, so I'm constantly going back there, so I'm looking forward to packing this up with me, taking it in the studios, kicking it with artists in the lab, and just doing some collaboration work using the onboard tools. So thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.